What's up, Exiles? I'm Cyclone9. Are you ready to flex on your friends with your game knowledge about the sickest drip in Path of Exile 2? Because today we're diving into the best uniques that PoE 2 has to offer. Whether you're here to stack divines by knowing all the chase uniques and how to farm them and flip them, or if you just want to finally stop dying to random mobs by gaining massive power on a budget, this video has you covered. Time-stamped, organized, no fluff. I'll give you the drop locations, the best roles to look for, and filters to optimize your search on the trade site. By the time we're done here, you'll know exactly what you need, how to get it, and whether it's worth your hard-earned currency. Let's get into it. First, we are going to start with a little bling. We are talking amulets, arguably one of the most versatile item slots in Path of Exile 2. From boosting your core stats, covering your resistances, to unlocking unique build mechanics. The first amulet we're going to be talking about is the Everlasting Gaze Azure Amulet. This amulet is massive for mana-based builds, particularly Stormweavers and Sparkers, which make up nearly half the player base currently. The standout modifier is gain 20 to 30% of maximum mana as extra maximum energy shield. This allows mana stackers to gain a crap ton of extra energy shield. This combined with flat plus 50 maximum mana and increased mana regeneration rate makes it a staple for mana hungry builds that want to be tanky. So, how do you acquire this amulet? One thing to note is this amulet has 0 level requirement, meaning it can be dropped literally anywhere in the game. For targeting it, usually gambling is the best go-to method for acquiring the amulet. You could even try out strategies using a low level character, which will reduce the potential unique outcomes when gambling, making it easier to hit this amulet. Let's talk about buying and selling this amulet. Thanks to amulet gambling in general, with hundreds of streamers going and spending tens, if not hundreds of millions of gold on gambling for an Astramentis. More on Astramentis later. Well, a byproduct of all that gambling is that a lot of these everlasting gazes are hitting the market when they're actually failing to hit Astramentis and instead get this. So the price has plummeted. Let's check out the trade site and we'll get into pricing a little bit more. Here we are on the trade site, and I've set up a trade filter here. All these links are going to be in the description, so you can go utilize them. I put in the 2 important stats. So here's the mana's extra energy shield and then the implicit, because the other modifier that's mana regeneration, it doesn't have a roll range, so we don't even need to include it here. So the perfect roll of this would be 30. I put 2 below, so it's near perfect. For the implicit, I'm less concerned. If you want a higher roll, you can change it. It also goes up to 30. So right now I put 25. Let's see what we can find. So when I hit search, you're going to see that right out the gate, there's one for 15 exalts. I'd say more likely you're going to find something around 20 exalts. And if you increase those numbers a little bit more and you're looking for an amulet that's even more perfectly rolled, you're getting to be up at the 30 mark. There's going to be a lot of them that are rolled pretty high. So you can come in here and adjust the numbers as needed based on your requirements. If you want something cheaper, you can always lower these numbers. You can find some of these amulets for as low as 1 exalt, literally. Those of you interested in utilizing your game knowledge to make cheddar via leveraging the trade site, I'm going to show you some cool stuff that you can do. If you're wanting to flip these amulets potentially and make some money, you want to come over here and change a couple things on the trade site. So I'm going to put the quality to 0. And I'm going to put the corrupted to no. So I want an amulet that is 0 quality and is not corrupted, that has 2 relatively high rolls. So if I hit search, again, I'm looking at 20 exalts here. And that's just right here at this second. I could then hit, I could change my buyout price to 15 max. Say I only want ones that are 15 max. And then I could hit activate live search, and then I could just wait patiently for one to pop up that's cheaper. Well, I didn't even have to do that. I acquired one earlier for 15 exalts, and I'm going to show you what I'd do to flip it for a profit. Let's check this out. All right, as you can see here, I acquired this Everlasting Gaze for 15 exalts. Great rolls, 26 on the implicit and then 29 for the main stat, so 1 away from perfect. Maybe I was a little lucky to get this for 15. It's probably more likely to go for 20 or even 25. But, you know, I just was there at the right time and I messaged the person and got it. What we're going to do is we're going to quality it up and then corrupt it and see what it's worth. So I went and checked out the exchange rate of this catalyst right here, because a lot of the modifiers on this amulet have the mana tag, meaning you can quality it up with this neural catalyst and it's going to increase all of those modifiers. So I traded 4 exalts for 20 of these, which is phenomenal because that's all we're going to need. So it's a 4 exalt investment and we're going to quality it up. What it's going to do is it's going to affect the increased mana regeneration, it's going to affect this mana regeneration, and it's going to affect the flat maximum mana. Unfortunately, the main role is an unscalable value, so it won't affect that, but it will affect the others. So let's see what we get here. We're going to put 4 exalts into this, making it a total now of a 19 exalt amulet. But as you can see, 31 increased mana, 60 to maximum mana, 60 to increase mana regen. Now, the final stage in this, and you could leave it at that, maybe we'll price check it and just see what we got here. So at minimum, there's one up here for 20x, which is unlikely. That's fake. Already now we're looking at 67x for the minimum of this amulet. We just printed money just by spending 4 exalts and qualitying it up. You can apply this strategy in a lot of different instances, so hopefully it's getting your brain working. We're not even going to leave it there. You know, I'm at the stage where some exalts don't really matter that much. I got a good, you know, stockpile of divines and exalts, so we want to take the next step. We're actually going to throw a ball orb on it and try and hit a good implicit. So if we hit a good implicit, this could increase the value even more. Or if we increase the numbers on any of the modifiers, that would be helpful too. So let's go ahead and vol it. And we had no change whatsoever. So vol orbs are basically nothing. I mean, we're under 5 exalts worth of investment here. We're at like 4.25 exalts, making the total cost of this amulet 19 exalts. And then according to my price checker, I could easily sell this. So look, stuff is changing all the time. Now that it's corrupted, and it didn't roll it implicit of any variety, it actually decreased it. So I lost money by voling that. I took the chance. You could have sold it for whatever, 60 exalts, 67 is what it was saying. Now I can sell it for 40 all day. I'm probably just going to put it up for 35 and flip it real quick, meaning that I profited roughly 16 exalts. So I'm not going to do this for every item. Maybe I'll do it for a couple different strategies in regards to corrupting it, but we're going to move on to the other uniques, and you can apply these techniques to any of them if you want to do some flipping currency making strategies. Next up, we have Astramentis. The Giga Chase amulet for the elite is absolutely insane for stat stacking builds. We're talking about crazy synergy with other uniques like Hand of Wisdom in Action and Pillar of the Cage God. You know, the kind of setups that make your regular builds look like they're playing in slow motion. This thing gives you plus 5 to 7 to all attributes as the implicit, and then the mega modifier allows you to get between 80 to 100 to all attributes. So at 100, you're getting plus 300 individual attribute stats. Kind of crazy. Even the worst possible rolls on this amulet are going for about 180 divine orbs right now. So yeah, let that sink in. Even a garbage tier Astramentis is worth more than most people's entire stash. So here's a kicker with this one. There's almost no target farming for this bad boy. It's a random drop. So it could show up anywhere, basically in any area that's level 24 or higher. You can try your luck with Alva gambling or throwing chance orbs at stellar amulet bases, but I have to tell you, I have seen people rip through tens of millions. Even one person did 100 million gold, countless bases that they had to purchase for exalt orbs, and countless chance orbs that are also, you know, a costly currency, and come up completely empty-handed. Watching the YouTubers gamble for this is like witnessing a live comedy show, and it's kind of painful. So you could try your luck, and if you hit, I mean, crap, you're filthy rich. So get ready to flex, but I haven't seen it yet on any of the videos I've watched. All right, so here we are on the trade site. I typed in Astramentis Stellar Amulet. I'm not putting any stat filters in because honestly, even a garbage tier one is stupid expensive. So we got this one for one divine. That was listed just now. This guy is currently receiving hundreds of messages because that's yeah, uh you're not gonna get it for one divine. I'll just put it like that. Now, next up, we have an unidentified one. Look at that for 150 divine. That is also, this person is also getting spammed right now, like hundreds of messages. I have no doubt of it, because it's not corrupted and it has a chance to be a high roll. Even at a low roll, it's worth more than this if it's already corrupted negatively. So this guy's getting spammed as well. Here we have our first realistic listing. It's 185 divine, and this has been corrupted, giving it worse stats. So the minimum is usually 80. Well, this dropped it down after being corrupted to 76. So that is a realistic price, what you're looking at for like a garbage tier Astramentis, 185 divine. So if you're one of the brave souls that wants to try and flip this item, I mean, go for it. If I could pick up this unidentified, I would. There's zero chance of that happening. This person probably relisted it already, or they're still in map getting spammed. Let's see if this person relisted. No, they're just getting all the spam messages. Here we go. We got one that's been already qualitied up. That's important. Don't ever corrupt one of these amulets without qualitying it up, for the love of God. Um, yeah, you can't apply quality after it's corrupted. So this one's for 84. It's basically, almost a min roll, and the corrupted made this go below minimum on this modifier. So you're looking at one for 200 divine. This was listed 2 minutes ago. Moving on, they just go up and up and up from there, as you can see. So you could theoretically buy an uncorrupted one. Let's see what a non-corrupted one goes for. This one's fake. This one's unidentified. We already discussed that. So an uncorrupted Astramentis is 276 divine. So that's a bit of a gamble. Yes, you can make a crap ton of money if you hit a good corruption, but if you hit a bad corruption, you're ripping almost 100 divine in one click. So this type of gamble is not for the faint of heart, although you can profit massively. Let's look at the most expensive ones here. So 750. This is qualityed up and not corrupted. So when you see he put the 20% quality, it already bumps it up to 120 to all attributes, and it's not corrupted. I don't think he'll probably get this price for it. Although it is a perfect roll, so he might. But at any rate, that's like a perfect roll, not corrupted. We have to turn off corruption. Turn corruption back on if we want to see the ones that hit something rare. So let's search again. Let's look for the most expensive ones, and we're going to see mirror. Yep, this one rolled up to 142. Oh my god. So it rolled above with the corruption on it. This one's 138, a little bit lower. Here's one +1 to all level of skills. They rolled a corruption on it. That's crazy. And it was a max roll to begin with, because he qualityed it up for 20%, so it's up to 120 to all attributes. So a max roll Astramentis that rolled +1 to level of all skills goes for 1,000 divines. That's only been up for 2 hours. So, I think it's likely he will sell it for something along those lines, or negotiate some mirror price or something. So as you can see, the potential for profit is there. And if you're going to corrupt this, you're going to want to use one of the corrupted orbs, because one of the outcomes of using a Vol orb is that nothing happens. And if nothing happens when you corrupt the Astramentis amulet, you actually lose a lot of currency. So you're going to want to go buy one of those corrupted omens, use it with it, and so you only have 3 outcomes. And I believe one of them is negative and 2 of them are positive. So the negative one is it reduces the rolls on it, and the other 2 are positive, are it rolls some sort of implicit, and it rolls an increase on one of the modifiers. So you have a 66% chance of having a positive outcome, but if you get that negative outcome, it's rip skis to a lot of currency. So that pretty much covers the Astramentis. Let's move on. One other thing about Astramentis I wanted to mention, and this is great for people that are wanting to make currency rather than rip currency on expending your chance orbs on white stellar amulets, is if you find any white stellar amulet, you just made a bunch of money almost instantly, or at least, some exalts. I want to show you guys something here, right? If I put this in my stash and I right now type, this is a white base, and it doesn't matter what the eye level is. I'm talking any white base stellar amulet. And then we go ahead and hit exact price. We type in 15 exalts. I want to show you what happens in pretty short order here. So as soon as I entered a map, it essentially pushed the update on my listing. And I'm currently just getting spammed by like 100 people to buy this white stellar amulet for 15 exalts. Look at, they're spam inviting me, they're spamming me left and right. So this guy just offered me 40x. I am going to sell it to him for 40x, which is quite ridiculous. And it doesn't matter the item level on this. That's the best part about collecting this type of base. These are going for crazy prices because people want to gamble with them. And to me, it's quite preposterous, as I've seen people gamble full quad tabs and not hit Astramentis. But here you go, look, I'm trading this person. I'm still getting spammed. 40 exalts for this white base. Boom, profit. So if you are finding any white bases, save them. This guy was going to offer me 60. This is absolutely insane what's going on with these white bases right now. So had I waited 2 more seconds, I could have got it for 60. Which is crazy. So don't sleep on those white bases. Please, for the love of God, pick them up. Now let me clear my trade messages. Holy cow. Just real quick, nice little update. I did actually sell that Everlasting Gaze for 39 exalts. So just like that, flip and profit. I mean, I could sit here and do that all day. It's so easy as just qualitying up the item that I bought. And then that was even one that I ripped the corruption on. Didn't even get a good corruption, and I still made a significant amount of profit on it. So if you hit a good corruption, you're making a lot more. Just wanted to update you guys that had already sold. Next up, I want to talk to you guys about Choir of the Storm. This is an amulet that drops from the Breachstone boss Zest, and it is definitely a budget item. The reason why this I'm mentioning is because if you're one of the lucky few that has Temporalis, you can do some crazy things with this, even with it recently getting nerfed to actually give a cooldown to the trigger of the Greater Lightning Bolt skill on critical hit. It still triggers pretty quickly when you're using Temporalis and can just be a devastating build. In addition, there's kind of a buggy interaction with this amulet and 3 other pieces of gear, all budget gear, that will allow you to one-shot any pinnacle boss in the game with any build. It's kind of insane. It's actually likely going to get hot fixed, so that it won't be in the game for too long. I'm not going to go into great detail. If you guys do want to know about this interaction, you can message me, or hit me up with a comment, and I'll try and break it down for you and provide a link so you can get a better understanding of how that works. At any rate, let's check this item out on the trade site. On the trade site, here are the filters I put in, and this goes up to 15, so we put it at 14 near perfect. This goes up to 30. I settled on a 26 for my search. If you want a perfect one, you can put that up higher. Right now, if we search with that criteria, you can get one for 3 exalts, it seems, possibly, but it's more likely you're going to be paying 4 or 5 exalts. So definitely a budget item to look out for. I'm not going to go into quality corruption flipping this item. If you want to experiment with it, I have seen some of these go for 1 to 3 divine. So you'll have to look into that yourself using the same methods we discussed earlier. There are 2 other amulets I'm going to go over real quickly. The first of those 2 is Xoph's Blood. This one gives you some strength, and it gives you increased maximum life, which is actually a stat that's pretty hard to come by in PoE 2. So if you're one of those ethical life stackers, that's pretty massive. It gives you fire res, and then you're going to be wanting to wear this if you're doing fire damage, because enemies in your presence will have fire exposure. This again drops from the Breachstone boss, Zest, and it is a budget item. The other one we're going to look at is also a Breachstone boss drop from Zest, and it's the Pandemonius Lapis amulet. This gives you intelligence, cold res, and then if you're rocking out with your cold damage build, you're going to be able to penetrate 70%, 75% cold resistance, and then you're also going to be blinding chilled enemies on hit. So you're going to be doing more damage and you're going to be getting hit less. This is also a budget item. We'll check out both on the trade site here right now. So for the Xoph Blood, I put in 14 out of 15 on strength, 14 out of 15 on increased maximum life, and 28 out of 30 on the fire resistance. And let's see what comes up here. You can get one, it looks like, for 1 exalt, possibly. I have seen quite a few of these pop up, but it's more likely you're in the 2 to even 5 range. It looks like there's a bunch here up at 3, so I mean, you could probably pretty easily get one with those stats at 3. And you're looking at probably trying to get like a near perfect one once you get up to, or even a perfect one once you get up to 5x. For the Pandemonius Lapis amulet, I put in perfect intelligence, a perfect 15, and perfect cold res at 30. And you're still popping them up for 1 exalted apiece. So these are dirt cheap. Because they're so inexpensive, I'm probably not using quality corruption flipping on these, but you guys can experiment with that if you want to check it out for yourself. But these are some budget items you can look out for that may actually be really good for your specific fire or cold damaging builds. All right, Exiles, I originally wanted to cover every unique on my list, but that would just be way too long of a video. On the real, I have 2 jobs and a 4-year-old, so filming and editing for long periods of time is not something I get to do very frequently right now. So that's a wrap for part 1 of our unique item breakdown. Whether you're chasing giga powerful gear or just looking for ways to stack currency, this series is going to be your go-to destination. If you want more strategies to make fat stacks while optimizing your builds, let me know in the comments what you want to see next. Rings? Belts? Drop a comment below and let me know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, because if you miss part 2, that's just rip to your build and your currency tab. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. As always, happy grinding. I'm Cyclone9. I will catch you in the next one. Be well.